everybody, welcome to the fifth episode of Smile Please You Are Married podcast. This is Ruchi Hirani, mother to this amazing daughter, wife to a superhuman, a lot foodie, a little crazy, but a strong believer, choreographer turned homemaker turned author, and now a couple clarity expert, creator and curator of Happily Ever After lifestyle. Every Friday, as promised, we are launching a podcast with different topics so as to help you. But I see that a lot of couples need to self-help also. I'll explain you how. Today's topic is even being married, why do you feel alone? Or you can frame it as how not to feel alone even after being married. So I have seen a lot of couples these days, they feel that even if we are together, we are still alone. Why? My question is why? How can you even do that to each other or yourself or to this beautiful relationship called marriage? There are so many ways out where you can figure out and work on your relationship and strengthen your bond so as to be there forever. Don't you see that relationship is a companionship for life? So before I tell you how to improve your relationship and how to get it sorted, let me begin with sharing our story as I do always, so as for you to understand that we were just in your place and we did a little extra to work on our relationship to make our own happily ever after life. So here I'm welcoming Jeet on the call with me so as to talk about our story and give you an idea that how did we work upon our issues. Hi Jeet.
Hi. So your introduction reminds me of a song from film Tamasha. It is Agar Tum Saath Ho.
Right.
There are beautiful lines. तुम साथ हो या ना हो क्या फर्क है बेदर्द थी जिंदगी बेदर्द है.
Right.
So yeah, that that song strike my mind when you introduce yourself and the situation on this podcast. And I understand how Deepika Padukone character didn't leave Ranveer Kapoor's character in that movie and help him out to achieve his dreams.
Yes. That's exactly what relationships are, to be the strength of each other, to cover each other during the weak moments. And I think that's the beauty of being into a relationship. And for that, I would want to, begin with my first question. You are a lot of overthinking person, okay? I have known you since ever. So how did you use this bond or this marriage or this relationship to share your emotion and feel complete with me and not feel lonely
Basically, I was not overthinking a lot in my childhood, but when I got the opportunities in my college to showcase my talent of engineering through making projects, so the more and more people started approaching me, and the more I had to communicate with them. And as being an introvert personality, I tried to overthink. अगर ये बंदा ये पूछेगा तो मैं उसका ये क्या आंसर दूंगा, अगर बंदा ऐसा मुझे कुछ हेल्प मांगेगा तो मैं क्या रिवर्ट दूंगा. So basically I didn't communicate much in my childhood. I didn't had much friends. Few friends you can count and finger. मतलब एक या दो ही friends थे मेरे जो मुझे जानते थे, पहचानते थे, समझते थे. So I didn't had to communicate more with them. They can understand. And when the things I came in the limelight, where I was awarded as a innovator of the year. So back in 2005, and all students, my juniors, started approaching me, and then I was a bit anxious that अभी कैसे सबको मैं particularly जवाब दूंगा या how I would face them. I also had a stage fear. तो वो सब के दौरान I started कम्युनिकेटिंग विद माई सेल्फ कि अगर ये होगा, ऐसा सिचुएशन आया तो मैं कैसे एक्ट करूँगा. तो जितने भी पॉसिबिलिटीज़ और कॉम्बिनेशंस होते हैं या होंगे मेरे साथ, मैं वो सब पहले सोचता था और फिर दिमाग में फिगर आउट करके रखता था कि हाउ आई वुड बी एक्टिंग. सो इट वॉज बिट नेचुरल टू मी एंड उससे ही फिर ओवर थिंकिंग ज़्यादा मेरा चालू हो गया.
Right. So you can say that you were cooking a lot of khayali pulao, which actually might not have been the reality. I mean, people might have taken you very friendly, but you got into that state where you had a fear of being right and being perfect and that is the reason you started overthinking and it got into you. But how did you, like, as a person, how did you express your emotions when before marriage? Let's talk before marriage, when you were actually not having much of friends and everyone around you.
Before marriage also I was fully focused on my work. मतलब मैं इस हद से ज़्यादा मतलब ज़्यादा ही मैं पर्टिकुलरली भाग रहा था कम्युनिकेशन एंड इंटरेक्शन से कि मैं खुद को इतना इन्वॉल्व कर देता था काम में. बट दैट ओवर थिंकिंग हेल्प मी इन माई वर्क. दैट काम का प्लानिंग मैं अच्छे से कर सकता था. आई कुड particularly plan and particularly brainstorm from all the angles of a particular business decision, so which helped me a lot. But yeah, I was not able to communicate. I had kept my sales and marketing team which would do work for me, and I had my मैनेजमेंट पर्सन हु वुड हैंडल द थिंग. सो मुझे उनके साथ ही इंटरेक्ट करना था और मैं वैसे ही लोगों को एम्प्लॉय करता था जिसके साथ मेरा रेपो अच्छा रहे, who can understand me. So
but that is
way
professional.
that was professional.
But what about your emotional
I wasn't
front?
having anything much at that time, and I was having a good friend of mine. His name is Hiral Sangvi. So he was the punching bag for me. कुछ भी मैं emotionally down होता था, and I guess he also had the same story of he was also a businessman, self-made, and he was also having few of the challenges like me. So we were very much empathetic about each other. We could understand each other's emotions, and I was always available for him, and he was more than available for me. So yeah, my all needs, emotional needs, और मुझे किसी को कुछ बोलना है, शेयर करना है, तो he was the guy. So yeah, before marriage, you can say he was the better half of mine.
Okay, so you had some person, but what were your thoughts about being into a relationship? Well, as you are overthinker, so did you plan for having a relationship in a particular manner, that I will share particular things, I will not share particular things, or maybe I'll share everything from scratch?
I saw many of my friends struggling in relationship. I was very career oriented. I am also right now. And I saw many of my friends struggling in their relationships, struggling to understand each other. और जैसे पीके मूवी में एक सॉन्ग है कि लव इज़ अ वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम. सो ओवर थिंक करके मैंने वो कंक्लूड कर दिया था कि एक्चुअली लव इज़ अ वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम. इफ आई इन्वेस्ट टाइम इन देन व्हाट्स द प्रोबेबिलिटी दैट आई वुड बी गेटिंग मैरिड विथ हर.
So this happens when an engineer is into a lot of
over analytic person I was. And I was seeing that I have a career, I have a booming career. I'm able to lift my family status from a lower middle class to a middle class, right? ठीक है. So I was totally focused on that कि भाई चलो कैरियर है, काम है, उसमें इतना डिमांडिंग है और वो उतना टाइम मेरा कंज्यूम कर रहा है, and I'm getting the results and I'm progressing, my family is progressing. So I was like ठीक है. I accepted that I would go for an arranged marriage.
Right.
क्योंकि love के लिए उतना मेरे पास patience ही नहीं था. Right. For that partner in the sense उसके नखरे उठाना और फिर और वो सब, and I didn't get that.
You are a husband to a couple clarity expert.
So I didn't ran away from it in the sense I wanted to do all those things for a woman whom I will get married and whom I will be committed to. So I was totally okay with that all things, but not at that particular time. एक बार I am the guy that एक बार एश्योरिटी मिल जाने कि भाई हाँ यही लड़की है जो मेरे साथ रहेगी, जिसके साथ मैं शादी करूँगा, then I would do everything for her.
Right.
So I fixed कि भाई हाँ ठीक है मैं अरेंज मैरिज के लिए जाऊँगा, चलेगा उसमें टाइम लगेगा. तो I had a patient there, मतलब in the sense it took me 4-5 years to find you. So I was totally okay with that.
Right.
So वैसा था मेरा.
And after marriage, what was the shift in your thoughts? I mean, from Hiral to Ruchi, how did you shift?
So during marriage, I was having a yardstick कि भाई हीरल के जैसे कोई मुझे समझ सके ना, मैं उसके साथ ही आगे proceed करूँगा.
So yeah, I have to.
And I find that element in you in the first meeting and we had in the MACD. And in the third meeting, where I was having that eureka कि भाई हाँ यार ये समझ सकती है.
Right, right.
मतलब you immediately, I still remember that instant that you were having a Bollywood kind of a dream कि प्रिंस चार्मिंग आएगा घोड़े में and destination wedding का आपके plans था. But when I shared that I have to keep my finances secure for my dad, he is a cancer patient, पता नहीं कभी कुछ क्या हो जाए, और I don't want to invest so much on my marriage. I want to keep it safe, my money safe for the thing which I can have to spend on my dad. And you eventually immediately you understood that and you said कि भाई चलेगा, मतलब इन द सेंस उतना धूम धमाका वाला शादी नहीं करेंगे, उसमें क्या है उतना. I agree with your point. We will spend our honeymoon together. We will invest in that rather than spending so much in marriage. So I was like कि यार ये बंदी उतना समझती है मुझे. And then that time I was like कि नहीं यार शादी करना है तो इसी के साथ करना है. So yeah, I was having
So guys, firstly, I'm interrupting you, Jeet. Today, Jeet is in very Bollywoodish mood. He's putting up the lyrics of the song. He's complimenting so much, and this is very new for me as well. So for you guys who cannot see me on podcast, I am blushing through the podcast and I'm enjoying talking this. So मैं ऐसे questions पूछने वाली हूँ जिससे मेरी और तारीफ पा रहा है. That is kind of a लालच for me. Please continue, Jeet.
So I was damn sure कि भाई इसके साथ understanding वाला part तो sort है ही, and we should quickly get married, and then we should quickly start our life.
जिससे मेरी बहुत ही फट गई थी.
Where you are also career oriented, I am also career oriented. Where you are from a massive joint family. मतलब हमारा initial एक function था, उसमें ही 50 जन आ गए थे, and I was totally terrified कि भाई इतने लोगों को कैसे मैं face करूँगा. And it was hard to keep the smiling face for 2.5-3 hours. So yeah, एक opposite वाला matchup था, but we had few similarities.
Yes,
and
we did.
Major part was like I was understanding you, you were understanding me.
Right.
So I was very much excited about the journey after marriage, but एकता कपूर की सीरियल के जैसे dash हो गया and things were not
Right.
as expected.
Right.
And I was totally shaken up with your attitude. मतलब एक धारणा थी, एक इमेज था कि शादी के बाद ऐसे 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 होगा, and but I was totally not shattered but shaken up
Right.
with some of the attitudes of yours and with some of the behavior and the situations. But it was not on a negative front. If I see from the angle of family, you were acting, you are behaving for the good of the family.
Right.
Right. My family, in the sense you accepted the family fatafat. And that was creating a particularly problem for me.
Yes. What you want to say that you were like you were in a thought process that we'll get into the career together and we'll have a career front blooming a lot, and then suddenly I shifted my focus from career to family oriented. Because see, there were instances in the beginning when dads told me that now as you are a daughter-in-law to this family, take care of everybody, take care of Jeet needs support, Jeet needs love, and that, you know, my strongest baseline and the strongest point in my life is my family. So something happens to anybody in my family, I'll be totally shaken up. Just because my father-in-law asked me something related to the first baseline and the baseline that is really, really close, I actually turned into a homemaker. I decided to turn into a homemaker, which was a big, massive change for me as well. And I think that is the moment when the clashes started happening in between us. Because there was a shift in thought process.
Yes, there was a shift
and
in
decision
thought.
also.
So I was having some kind of baselines or ground rules कि भाई रुचि ऐसे react करके then only I would be feeling loved. But that was my problem. And then after some time I understood and I liked actually. I never expected that you would be such a good cook. And you are making such a fine dinner, such a fine lunch, breakfast for all of us. The taste was awesome and the cuisines variety were also awesome. So धीरे धीरे you particularly got a grip of my love language, I could say.
Yes.
So yeah, that was the thing. And there, after the marriage, as I mentioned earlier, there was a bit downfall in my particular business, and I needed badly your support.
Yes.
I didn't wanted you to work, but I want you to be with me with
Right.
the maximum time, so you can understand the things what I'm going through daily and what kind of mental support I need. So वो एक ज़रा सा नहीं मिलता
Dip हो गया था.
Dip हो गया था, and I could understand that you were investing the entire of your energy towards handling the house, which you were never ever have
Right.
done before the marriage.
Right.
तो वो एक ज़रा मुझे समझ में नहीं आया.
But then how did it affect on the sharing part? I mean, today we are talking that how not to feel lonely. So by what you are communicating, I feel that you felt lonely in the beginning of months of
felt
our
lonely.
marriage.
Yeah, I felt
So how
lonely.
did you overcome and deal with it?
The same feeling was there with me before marriage also, and I said to myself, I console myself कि भाई ठीक है, एक बार शादी हो जाएगा, right partner मिल जाएगा, जीत, so things would be easy, don't give up. As you know, the entrepreneur, the startup journey is very lonely. Hardly anyone can understand your point of view or what you are going through. So it was a lonely battle for me, because I was handling the family matters also of my dad, health also, and my business also. So it was damn very lonely, but I was just consoling myself कि भाई हो जाएगा, we shall overcome. एक दिन आएगा where all things will be sorted. और शादी के बाद भी बिजनेस में प्रॉब्लम्स हुए, एंड आई नीडेड योर सपोर्ट टू बी मेंटली स्ट्रॉन्ग, बट वो नहीं मिल रहा था. तो मैं इनिशियली तो मैं बहुत फ्रस्ट्रेट होता था, झगड़ा करता था. आई वॉज नॉट बीइंग सपोर्टिव योर एक्शंस, मतलब यू वेर देयर फॉर मी, बट आई वॉज नॉट एक्सेप्टिंग दैट कि मुझे ऐसे नहीं, मुझे इस तरह से
Right.
तुम्हारा साथ चाहिए. तो पहले तो इनिशियली मैं वही चीज़ करता था, एंड देन वन फाइन डे आई सेट विद माई सेल्फ एंड आई अंडरस्टैंड कि बॉस, यू नीड द सपोर्ट ऑफ रुचि. फॉर दैट ओनली यू वेटेड so much long. You didn't end up in any other relationship. ठीक है, cause you needed one fine strong support and you have with you, but you are not dealing with it in a proper way. So then I started changing myself to get your support. To get your understanding which you had in me. So I started changing myself. I started appreciating your things. I started understanding your way, your life, your
Approach.
to do
Right.
of the entire day. Why you are behaving like this? Why you are acting like way? And then slowly and steadily I understood your thing. Then you also needed some you also had your love language or had your particularly needs at your end, and I started meeting them. And then eventually you started acting the way I wanted. So yeah, that's the way I managed.
Great, awesome. So basically, what we understand from your conversation is that it is rightly said that it takes two to marry and two to stay married. So if you want your relationship to go on forever, and if you want your marriage to be, stable, stress free, friction free, and a happy one, you both need to work upon it. So be it a man, be it a woman, in India specifically, I have read it online and I have proofs where it is actually been understood that carrying a marriage well or running a marriage is a woman's job. From where does it even come? I was so pissed off with this attitude. How is a two-way relationship a woman's job? So all the men listening out there, it is no shame in working for your marriage. It is no shame in changing and accepting your flaws, and it is no shame in demanding certain things. So here today I want to tell something about the 10 must-have commandments one should actually have in the relationship for it to work. Now this is a very important part because I'll be telling you the 10 must-have commandments. So if you, this is also a trick or a hack where you can improvise your relationship. So starting with, if you have, if you think that there is a communication gap, then practice listening first and then start speaking. Once you empathize, as Jeet rightly said, Hiral and Jeet empathized with each other, and that is the reason they both got connected with each other. Likewise, if with your partner you empathize first, you will automatically get whatever you want in returns. Secondly, you must have immense clarity in your relationship of your thoughts, which will give you the power of action. It is rightly said that clarity of thoughts gives you the power of action. So if you have vagueness, if you don't know what is happening around, if you don't know your what is, sometimes we have identity crisis or identity issues, especially with women. After marriage, we have a change of lifestyle, work, house, everything. So we suddenly feel, मैं कौन हूँ, मैं क्या कर रही हूँ, what am I even doing? Look at my friends around, they are doing so good. So that kind of questions arises. They are very normal, but then it needs to be, it needs to be clear out. So the vagueness has to go out so that there is a clarity, and then it gives the power of action. Also, whatever commitments you have made in the starting, the smaller ones, the bigger ones, I don't know, whatever commitments you have made, always stick to it. If you have promised that मैं तुम्हें every week कहीं ले जाऊंगा या एक गुलाब का फूल दूंगा, make sure you do it, because that what makes the relationship beautiful. Consistency, this is again very important. Take baby steps, do whatever you're doing, but in a consistent pattern. Compatibility, treat each other with equality and respect. So for females out there, do not victimize yourself. Give your man equal opportunity. Give yourself equal opportunity to be loved, to be pampered. If you want pampering for yourself, pamper your man as well. Then comes forgiveness, which is very important. Condoning. Letting go and forgiving is an art that one must learn and practice on and on and on and on. Why? Because see, even if we say that okay, I forgive you, or even if we just end a argument midway, things are there in our heart and it stays, and then it piles up, and then one day the volcano will blast, which will not give you good results, which will burn off your relationship. So better do not kind of pile up things in your heart. Just speak it out in a way that it gets away from your mind, and once that the communication is done, once there's a very nice saying about this: let the dead bodies stay dead. So let it be in the graveyard, don't kind of pull it up back. Then comes companionship. This is very, very beautiful, and this is my personal favorite. For me, Jeet is the only bestest friend I ever have. I don't have much friends. Most of you know that I have very little friends because I have a huge family. So for me, Jeet is my biggest companion, and you too, guys. You have to treat your partners as your best friends before you can treat them as your wife and husband. That gives a beauty of sharing, that gives a comfort, that gives a lot of added value to your relationship. Then comes confidentiality. Guys, this is very, very important. Again, if you want your relationship to sail smoother, you have to maintain your secrets. You cannot just go out and talk about your secrets or talk about each other's problems or anything. Even if you want to go and flaunt or blonde, do it. But if you are having particular problem, never ever go to any third person. That will kill the vibe and when you spill the beans. Confidentiality has to be maintained. Then comes copulation. See, intimacy, when I speak about it, it's more than just being physically intimate with each other. You have to be emotional intimate, you have to be understanding, sensual, and it's spiritual intimate. I have always told this in a lot of lives, in a lot of podcasts, and as well in my book, that whenever there is a extramarital happening or whenever there is an infidelity happening, it doesn't begin with physical intimacy. It begins with lack of emotional intimacy between you and your partner. So if you think that there is a lot of emotional disturbance going on, work upon it right now. And last and most important thing, certainty. Assure your partner over and over and over again that you are there for your partner. Just like you have ensured your life, likewise you will have to assure your partner. See, I have also heard that the beauty of the relationship lies in the uncertainty, but up to a level. After a few years, you need to have certainty in your life that okay, whatever it is, this relation is stable and it's not going anywhere. If your base is strong, you will have wings to fly. So these are the 10 commandments, and you can read about these 10 commandments in detail. You can have your self-assessment exercises of these 10 commandments through my book, which is available on Amazon Kindle. It is called as Smile Please You Are Married. And why it will connect with you? Because it has 6 powerful stories of the millennial couples and how they deal with the day-to-day problems. So guys, if you want to work upon your relationship and if you want to never ever feel lonely even after being into a relationship or being married, you must work upon your relationship considering all these 10 commandments which are available in my book. So go now, read my book and let me know how did you work upon your relationship. So here is Ruchi Hirani, mother to this amazing daughter, wife to a superhuman, signing bye bye. Stay in love, stay happy, because guys, happily ever after does exist. Bye bye and have a great weekend. See you next Friday.